When you really want a Land Rover, but can't afford one, you get an LR2. Let's take one for a drive and check the tech. Our nav unit here, as you can see, it's a touch screen and large buttons because there's not a whole lot to display. Little sluggish. It's DVD based, not hard drive based. It is the first system of its kind that uses flash as the animation technology. So kind of an interesting piece of tech trivia, but in the end it ends up doing a lot of sliding and dancing that I don't need. Let's go to the audio system now. Pretty basic stuff because we have the basic audio system. 320 watts of power, 9 speakers around the cabin, one of those is a sub. Sources are okay, FM, no HD radio. This thing digital, that means satellite radio. AM, of course. Here's our CD and aux toggle. So the in-CD/MP3 or the aux jack that's fairly well located back here on the console. Now to get this thing moved around, and it's got kind of a high bustle back there, you do have park distance control sensors, the beeper things, but notice when I go into reverse, I got a screen, but I've got no camera. Like with the engine, there's one choice on the transmission on this guy. It's this automatic with a shiftable gate over on the left. The more interesting part, though, is this terrain response panel, which is a very Land Rover thing. They kind of dumb down off-roading for the suburbanite. You got a knob here. You turn it to match the conditions you're in. This one is kind of a snowy conditions. Here's one with rocks and gravel. Here's one with rocks and gravel and uneven surfaces. And then to the left of it, you've got a hill descent control. That's like a wall climber. If you're going down one of these real steep things, just do that, and the vehicle's going to walk itself down to the bottom. Now up here in the engine bay is a 3.2-liter dual overhead cam V6. Nice little motor, pretty smooth, well damped and isolated from the body as you can see. 230 horsepower, 234 foot-pounds of torque, and Land Rover's pretty proud about how flat the torque curve is, and that's definitely good for an all-terrain vehicle. But some of the more interesting technology is back here in the driveline. Now back under in here is something that Land Rover brags about. They've got a Haldex limited slip rig. So what you've got is the engine in the front, of course, can power off the front wheels. Single drive shaft comes back here to, first of all, a limited slip coupling right here. This is going to help divide power front to rear in line with the drive shaft, and then right behind that, where you normally have a traditional pumpkin, you've got an electronically controlled limited slip differential. That handles left rear split at the back. It's a very compact system, and notice there's no jack shaft going back to the front of the car like some other vehicles do to handle all-wheel drive. Now, know that you're automatically something of a poser the minute you step into an LR2. Sorry, that's just the way it is when you do entry-level motoring within an iconic brand. As I mentioned, the LR2 has Land Rover's terrain response system, but not the adjustable height air suspension to really get some ground clearance and flesh it out. Now, I'm no off-road guy, but if you buy one of these, I have a hunch you're not going to be either. So let's just agree that parking lot curbs at the mall make up the bulk of what an LR2 has to negotiate in its lifetime. The 3.2-liter dual overhead cam V6 is fine, with 230 horsepower and 234 foot-pounds of torque, a good torque number. And that's available over a nice flat range of RPMs, which makes squirting around in real-world traffic easy and pleasant. But there's no forgetting what you're driving, as the LR2 always feels a tad high and floaty. You'll want to ignore that CRV when he challenges you to a canyon race. Okay, an LR2 is the cheapest way you can say I drive a Land Rover. Yeah, just barely. $36,000 is your base. $3,500 more on top of that to get the tech package. That brings you the kind of sluggish GPS DVD navigation with the shockwave interface. It'll also bring you the 440-watt improved audio system with better surround, Sirius, and Bluetooth hands-free. Or cheap out for $800 and just get Sirius and Bluetooth. Beyond that, this car is no tech tour de force, but you can get the basics.
For your daily dose of tech news, check out CNET's Loaded. It's packed full of the latest tech news highlights that matter to you. Find out the latest gadgets or the coolest gizmos, all that and more Monday through Thursday at cnet.com/loaded.